Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Into the Paranormal podcast. I am your host, Kevin Leonard, and with me, as always, Corey Beam. How you doing, Corey?
Hey, doing real good. Just real excited. It's the weekend. So much going on. We got Christmas. We got Kappa just, being extremely busy. So, and a fun topic and a pretty interesting news story for you today. So, yeah, just happy to be here, be living, be alive. Uh, Not dead, not a spirit yet. So that's a plus. How have you been, man?
Pretty decent. Just working as always. Same as you, because we're on the same
Yeah,
team. So staying busy,
definitely.
investigating, going through audio, video, all that fun jazz that comes along with it.
Yeah, let me tell
Uh,
you, I got 6 hours of staring at a door to do. So we'll see what happens. But that's this is the life we have chosen.
yes, this
So
is the path that we have led down,
yeah.
but it's good. I like it. Um, so yeah. Today's topic, we're gonna do something different. We were talking before we started recording, and we're gonna introduce new segments, a new series, Corey called it, case files. Well, we'll be talking about various cases, investigations that we've been on, and kind of going in depth with it in detail, talking about, our experiences, um, evidence, all that fun stuff. We've touched on numerous cases before and kind of just pranced around it, said, oh, this happened, that happened, yada, 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 and then went on to another one. So we'll dedicate a whole show to it, you know, with all the comedy and banter and stuff that you have come to expect here. Uh, but first, let's get into some paranormal news. Corey, you got the link that I sent you?
Yeah, and I did a little bit of reading. It's actually pretty interesting. We've talked about part of this. As you can tell, I don't know where my phone is at the moment. This is what you get on here on Into the Paranormal.
And it's 1 o'clock
Chaos
in the morning and recording.
is 1:30 in the morning on a Saturday. That's a remote control. Oh, there's the phone. This is what we do, guys. This is how we
This is how
get
we
ready.
roll.
This is how we
Yeah, yeah.
do the thing. But no, this
Literally, like right before we hit record, we sit here and we talk on Zoom or in person if we're recording in person, and we what are we gonna talk about? And they're
yeah.
like, yeah, that's good. That's good. What's going on in the news lately? Ah, that's interesting. Record.
That's pretty
But
much
it's
how it
raw,
goes.
unscripted, and it's
Oh yeah.
fun.
Well, that's the fun part. If we don't want to sound robotic, because we are not robots or AI. Um,
That we know of.
that we know if I am, who's ever running me is the software is not working correctly. They got to fix that. They got a bug. Speaking of bugs, I told you I had food poisoning from a place that we ate before an investigation. Luckily, the food poisoning set in the day after. Um,
Yeah.
but that's never fun. And
I
I can't
mean,
tell
no,
if it was. I
unless
can't
you're
tell
into
if it
that sort of
was.
thing.
Well, if you like, oh, good, you got food poison. If you like to throw up and crap your pants at the same time, it's not fun. Listen, and I don't know who gave it to me. I don't know if it was the pre-meal or the post celebration. And
Oh, that is true. We went to
because
Denny's afterwards with our
yeah,
celebratory milkshakes. We have a
and I'm
tradition in
fine.
Kappa
We do.
that,
Well, it's a
yeah,
brand new tradition.
it's brand new, but nonetheless, it's a tradition now. After investigations, we go somewhere that has Denny's or that has Denny's that has milkshakes. We get
Yeah,
milkshakes after investigations. It's a
which
good
is
time.
great. Yeah. We went to a Denny's with a sinkhole in the parking lot. Everything was great. It was
Yeah.
6:30 in the morning, and
But it was fun. We had laughs
how?
and
Oh,
all
oh
that
my
fun
gosh,
stuff.
gosh, was it a good time? We have a great team. Not
Yeah.
just when we investigate, but like we all just get along, and have a good sense of humor, and it's fun. But yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. This is on the heels of, we talked about David Grush.
Hmm.
He was the one that whistle blew, and was part of the Air Force, that he had uh, known of some UFO um, material, and also biologics. I don't know if you remember the episodes. We went through biologics, and we did that whole spiel. It was a whole thing.
I was gonna
Um,
say it, but I didn't. I chose not to.
well, I chose the low road, and we uh,
You have
that's
to
what
have a
we
yin
went
and yang here, you know.
exactly. But apparently, and this is pretty big. So not only the bill, this is basically a group of scientists. They're pushing
Yeah,
for
just go ahead and read the
UFO.
article.
Yeah,
It's not a
they're
long article.
basically they're pushing for UFO research without waiting for the government. They're like, we're just going to do some stuff. Um, and here, I'll just give it a quick read. A group of scientists have decided that they are not going to wait for U.S. government to disclose information about UFOs, and they are going to research either way. This comes after earlier this year, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer introduced a UFO transparency bill on the heels of testimony given to Congress by the retired Air Force officer and whistleblower David Rush. Many have accused the U.S. government of delaying and putting off the release of information they have, with some major news outlets questioning why they are not being transparent with UFO information. While some are calling for the U.S. to share their info, some are taking the initiative and simply doing research anyway. Dr. Gary Nolan, a world renowned immunologist, interesting, has decided that he and his team will study non human technology to see what sort of benefits it could have for people on Earth. According to an article in News Nation, Nolan believes that non human technology could bring benefits and opportunities for humanity. A recent article in political magazine The Hill claims that people in the U.S. should be vocal about their desire to know more about what could be the biggest story in human history. So quite interesting. There's a
Yeah.
few things there that are interesting. Really, where okay, what if we do have these uh, so-called alien technologies? How could it benefit us? Some may argue that we have seen such a quick gain in technology advancement that we've already used some possible
Hmm.
knowledge there. I've seen that talked about, but it's
Yeah.
fascinating that they're taking that angle to where how can it be used for our own advancement and our own well being, and also they're putting in there. I think it's interesting that Chuck Schumer. Uh, I didn't know. Oh, excuse me, sorry guys. 1 o'clock in the morning. Remember, um, I didn't know that he had introduced a bill about UFO transparency, so I'll have to look into that more. But it's quite fascinating. Um, more and more you see UFO in the news, more and more.
Hmm.
I mean, 20 years ago, you would have never heard any of this. It would have never been talked about, and
No,
you're
the
seeing
closest
it
thing would be like in the Sun newspaper or magazine or whatever, tabloids.
National
National
Enquirer,
Enquirer. Yeah,
and now you're seeing it,
on
everywhere. I
CNN
mean,
or
right?
something.
It's,
Yeah,
it's on
Fox.
CNN. It's on. Oh no, we can't trust CNN. Those damn liberals. Um, I'm kidding. I'm not getting political. You can't trust Fox News because they're those damn conservatives. I'm just saying that to even everything out here. I could care less. No, it is crazy to see these major news outlets talking about what we've watched and talked about for years.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's weird even when the news outlets go with ghost stories, like for the spooky season, and they're talking about this house in our historic district has paranormal activity, and I'm like, yeah, no duh. But it's not a story for me. It's a story for people who, that don't look into that sort of thing like we do.
Yeah,
which is which is fine.
it's fine.
It's fun nonetheless, and it gets people ready for the season, which is always a good time. But what are your thoughts on the article?
No, I mean I agree with you 100%. I mean, I like to see stuff like that. I like to see anything paranormal because UFOs, that whole realm falls under the umbrella of paranormal. I like to see anything paranormal related getting mainstream exposure.
Yeah,
I like to see, government agencies, former government agencies, whatever the case may be, pushing for transparency, pushing for information to get out. Uh, the government is withholding information. We all know that about, this type of topic. And I like to see it getting pushed out and just letting the people know. But like I said before, I'm pretty sure I said it before, it is is the populace ready for that type of information? We'll have to wait and see.
I
But
it,
I for one like to think I am.
I think we are, and the only reason I say that is because everyone's reaction to aliens exist is, are they going to pay my rent? Like
Well, I
people,
mean that's to a certain degree of um transparency or proof or whatever. But would that same reaction be if it's 100%, hey, and then like people like it becomes a norm. Like, I mean, who knows if the government is in a cooperation with aliens or anything like that. Now I'm getting really far into like the sci-fi aspect of it, but
or Palpatine up there doing stuff, and
well, yeah, like, let's say in a few years, like it's become normal to see UFOs just like hovering above major cities. I don't think people are going like, are you going to pay my rent? Who knows what
oh,
people are
I'm
going to
going
say
to.
at that point. Well, I doubt they
I'm
will.
going to go up and see if anyone's hiring. See how if they're paying better.
You guys hiring on Mars?
Yeah, not Mars. I just want to work on your ship. I'll be a server. How do you tip? We don't tip. What do you pay me? I got bills to
But
pay.
but yeah, I like to see I like to see information coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I can agree.
guess it just goes back to, my X-File fascination. You know,
Yeah, well, maybe someday in the near future it'll be normal for us to elect an intergalactic senator. Who, kn- uh,
I
I
mean,
mean, who
I
knows?
can't say stranger things have happened, but I mean, who
No,
knows? Maybe it's already.
Stranger things haven't happened yet,
No,
but
but who knows what
well,
we've
they
elected?
have.
What?
I can't say it on camera, sadly. Gosh, I wish I could because it's funny. But stranger things have surely happened. Um, and I'll leave it at that. But but no, it's really cool. It's exciting to see, and I hope they find whatever there is to find, and I hope that it'd be nice for just the truth to come out, like
Yeah, the truth is
that
out there.
it, spoken like a true X-Files fan.
So, moving on from that, we are going to talk about a couple of dates that is coming up very, very fast. January 25th, Kappa will be at the New Smyrna Beach Regional Library in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, at 2 p.m. That is on a Thursday. We will be doing a presentation talking about paranormal equipment, paranormal experiences, how to conduct a paranormal investigation, what to expect during an investigation, how we conduct a paranormal investigation because it varies from team to team. So it'll be good for the whole family. I know that is a weekday at 2 p.m. However, um, come out, hang out with us. We love seeing everyone come to these events. Again, that is January 25th, 2 p.m. at the New Smyrna Beach Regional Library in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Corey, tell them about Deltona.
Yeah, we'll be back. We of course recently did the Deltona Regional Library. We will be back there March 26th, 2 o'clock, Scrub J Auditorium, same place we had our last one. We're gonna go and it'll be a little different since we did one there. We're gonna go into more of the how and the why, and why that is kind of our biggest problem, why we can't solve the how and why, and why we probably never will be able to. We also had a podcast that we kind of went into a little bit, but that'll be the main focus of that, and taking any other questions. We had a lot of questions still um, that we didn't even have time to answer. So hopefully we'll have more time for questions. But that'll be, like I said, March 26th at 2 o'clock at Deltona Regional Library in Deltona, Florida.
Yep. And April, we will be in Kingsland, Georgia. That is to be announced. I don't know why every time I talk about something, I put my hands up. But yeah. Kingsland, Georgia, April. The precise date will be announced. And then also in April, we will be at the Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida for the Paranormal Para Unity event. I believe that is April 27th, right?
26th or 27th. We'll have to look at
Yes.
the exact date, but yeah,
Yep.
that'll be
It'll
fun.
be
A lot
that
of
weekend. Yeah.
they're doing a lot of great things to the old Gilchrist County Jail. They've Henry Lee over there has done a lot of fixing up and of such a historical place. Basically, in my opinion, has saved that building.
Yeah.
Um, and that's amazing. And take the paranormal out of it completely just to save a piece of history.
Yeah.
Is great. I know there'll be other teams there. It's a really cool event. That I
Yeah.
think
Like
that
I said, it'll be para unity.
so,
So yeah, there'll be definitely some more teams there. And
so it'll be a really fun event. And you know, you definitely come out and
yeah,
join us for that. That'll be a good time as well.
can't wait to get out there and hang out with everybody and hopefully see some of you there. But April 27th, I believe, 26th or 27th, you'll find more information on the Kappa Facebook page. Um, as the event comes closer, I haven't posted anything about that. So this is a first that we're mentioning that. Um, but just pay attention to the Kappa Facebook page. They'll all that information, events, and yada 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 will be all over that. The USS North Carolina. Let's take the paranormal aspect out of it, as you were talking about the jail earlier, and just talk about the ship in general and just the night that we investigated it. We got there
I,
4:30, right before they closed, because
yeah,
they closed the museum at 5. Um, and we got there just before they closed, and we just stayed. But we got to walk around a little bit before they shut down and got to experience the ship. Not as much as we had liked to beforehand, but it's almost otherworldly because you kind of step back in time as you walk aboard the ship and you see the guns, you see like the different levels of the ship, the different rooms, and I have a very, very vivid imagination, and I could just picture like wartime or just, the ship out at sea during like the Pacific theater and just almost hear like the yelling of soldiers running across the deck or wreck time when they're just kind of hanging out, playing music, trying to relax, like when they weren't at high alert, which I'm pretty sure they were always at high alert when they were at sea.
yeah,
But it you can do, like I said, you just step back in time and it's a whole different atmosphere on the ship. And everyone that we met on board, that has anything to do with the Battleship North Carolina, were just amazing. Like tons of knowledge. Dennis, the night watchman that was on duty when we investigated, you could tell that he just loves that part of the investigation when he can kind of come back to command and just tell stories of
Yeah,
when the
yeah.
ship was active.
You can tell his passion for the ship in general. Just and I'm sure he's not the only night watchman I mean, I'm sure anyone, they have that passion for the ship, and it's hard. It would be hard not to. It's such a cool piece of history. Um, this is a ship that saw all 15 battles in the Pacific Theater in World War II. Took that famous torpedo hit that you know sadly led to a few casualties. But what happened? Damn thing kept going. I
Hmm.
mean, and you can, and it's true. When you're in that ship, you can just sense and feel. And I'm not talking about in paranormal terms. I'm talking about just with your imagination. As
Right.
someone who loves history, you can feel it, and just see the people running up and down these corridors. During the stressful times in battle. I mean, it's just an amazing experience. I could have gone there and had nothing happen paranormal, and it's such an amazing experience just to have you're renting a battleship
Right.
like that's so amazing to me, and as a history buff, I mean, it does not get better than that. I think maybe you let me sit in the back seat of that limo that JFK was shot in or something. I mean, it literally to me is up at that level because uh, uh, I mean, this is a just such a piece of history, and it's just an honor that they even they trust us to move about their ship, and it's just amazing. I know I'm just kind of gushing over it and saying random things, but
No,
that's just
it's
how I feel.
100% true.
You
Yeah.
know what? It's just kind of odd when you first get there. You're like just looking around, like this is just incredible. I felt like I was a giddy, truthfully, a giddy little schoolgirl. I mean, you see the guns. You first get on uh, the deck there, and you got the guns and the. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just something else. Um, an experience that I cannot wait to reenact in
Yeah.
a few months. Will be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I and going to the paranormal side of things, I always say that ghosts don't act on command. You can't really predict how active a location is going to be based on past experiences. When the team was there last year, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. When we were there last year, um, every member of the team walked away with an experience. They had a story to tell. And you can't really say that, oh, that'll have definitely happen when we go back. We could go back and absolutely nothing happened. But it's just I'm it would be wrong, or it would be a lie if I said that I'm not looking forward to those experiences. Like I'm not looking forward to, am I gonna see what I saw last time?
yeah.
Because you just hope so, or you hope to. And we had a lot of experiences. So
I I
you're
would
gonna say something.
say, well, I'm just and when you say we all had experiences, I think it's the type of experiences we all had. It is rare when you have an entire team have visual experience,
Yes,
and pretty, not corner of the eye,
pretty
direct.
substantial.
Yeah, I mean, substantial things that we were seeing, that we could not explain. Um, from Kathy scaring herself following
Oh my God.
a thing. Listen, the funniest thing is her coming back. How long were you over there? Long enough to scare myself. you know, that was and listen, here, at Kappa
And
or
shout
any
out to her
paranormal
for
team.
walking off into the
Yeah,
darkness by herself for some
because
reason.
she did, and she had the guts to do that, to follow what she and down into the engine room, what she thought was, well, I don't know what
Yeah.
she thought it was, and coming back and guess what? I'm that word is not used a bunch. Oh, we're not allowed to be scared. It happens. You can
Yeah.
be, startled is a better word, I think, but you can absolutely be scared if you know think you're down in the middle of a boat and all of a sudden there's a shadow and it's you don't know what that is. That can
Yeah.
be
It's moving
um
freely, you
yeah,
know.
sure, that can be a
There's
startling and
only stationary lights in this battleship. There's only stationary light. There's no windows.
I
There's no car going by where it's going to cast a shadow that moves. Every light is controlled. Every light is stationary. And when you're in a room, and as we were there, and the lights that were on were like the red emergency lights. Everything else was complete darkness. And when we went into a room, you stand there completely still, uh, a lot of times completely quiet, just kind of reading the room, getting used to how the room sounds, like the noises that make, especially in a new environment when you're on a battleship. Okay, what does the creaking sound like?
right,
Is the metal gonna make a noise or anything like that?
right.
Because it was super duper hot, and is something gonna
Yeah,
constrict and expand? What's gonna happen? So you kind of you learn the shadows, like where a shadow is. If that red light is on, and then there's a bar and it casts a shadow on the wall, that bar or that shadow is not going to move because it's that bar. That bar is not moving.
right. Yep.
If Corey happens to be blocking the light here, and because we all kind of shuffle and move, okay, we can tell that that's Corey, that we can tell that that's Molly, that's Tracy. And when a shadow, like what you guys saw, is opposite corner of the room and peeking out at you,
Yeah,
almost in direct response to your reaction.
yeah, yeah. That that's the thing, then when it comes down to that, and what I just want to finish the thought, um, being scared is a taboo word, I feel like, in the community. Oh, we can't be scared because it's okay to be startled or scared. Don't go running away from it, like, but being startled and being like, "Ooh, I don't know what that is," or not feeling right about a situation is completely okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And
you know, I
normal.
it's a normal human reaction, to seeing something you can't explain. Now, screaming and running, that's a completely don't do that. And Kathy handled
Yeah.
herself very well. She walked
He
back
walked
and she was,
calmly away.
yep, and that's what you do. Or
Yeah.
you run towards it and say, there was a whole person. There was a whole
That's
person.
what I
And
did.
that's what Kevin did. And we've mentioned it before, but you can see those events actually play out. They are on the Kappa Facebook page. Uh,
Yeah.
I actually just watched the video again because it's fascinating. A bunch of events we recorded live at the right time because
Yes, we did.
we had a lot happen right then. I was actually after we had followed. Well, go into what you saw, and then we'll talk about what happened afterwards. We can go into that whole what happened, why Kathy had seen something, and
Yeah, so we were all in the mess hall, and I'll try to quickly paint a picture. If you haven't been to the USS North Carolina, any of our listeners or viewers, in the mess hall of this ship, yeah, the ship is very wide, and in that deck that has the mess hall, on the right and left, the port and starboard side of the ship, you have, the cafeteria, the part where like it has the tables and chairs where you eat. In the center, you have the kitchen. We were all on, I don't even remember what side of the ship we were on. I think port side. Um,
think
we
so.
were all on the entire team. No one else was aboard the ship except for the night watchman, and he was in his office. Um, so we were all accounted for. And we were just trying to get some type of reaction, get something going. We played music from the era, and Kathy was sitting to my left, and she thought she saw a shadow walk from one end of the opposite mess hall, from the other side of the kitchen, from right to left. So she gets up and she follows it. She didn't tell anyone what she had saw, what she was doing, and usually I don't let anyone go anywhere by themselves. So I'm not even sure. Maybe it was the heat getting to me or something, getting to us.
Maybe.
But she got up, goes following this. A few minutes later, I see a light kind of flashing across the ceiling, and I could tell that that's Kathy trying to get our attention. So I say, oh, I think I audibly say, "Why is she over there by herself? Let's go check on her or something." And like you said, we're live during this time. Tracy's holding the camera, going live on the Kappa Facebook page, and I get up, I walk through the kitchen. I'm out halfway through the kitchen. I see a a person. Like I'm not even gonna say an apparition, but it that's what I believe it was, an apparition. But it was you could see the skin, the color shirt, the hair, the complexion, all that stuff. Like it was a you could tell every detail of this person. They came from right to left. Kathy was all the way to the left. And about midways, about, directly in front of me, they walk and get right there and then dart backwards. And, I stop like, uh, who is that? I turn around to Tracy. I need a flashlight. I don't like carrying flashlights because it messes with my ability to see shadows, in my opinion. But I guess at this point I needed one, and Tracy didn't have one either, so I don't have one, and I said, crap. By this time, Kathy came out of the engine room and got to where I was, and I asked her, "How long have you been over there?" 'Cause I wanted to see if she saw what I saw, and then she just said, "Long enough to scare myself." And so I grab her flashlight and I dart to the right after what I think is a person. I'm thinking this is someone who's trespassing. So I dart all the way to the end. Everyone is kind of following me. They don't know what's happening because I don't really tell anyone that I saw a person. I just go after him until we get to a dead end. And that's when, I tell the team what I saw. And there was absolutely no one on the ship. So, in my heart of hearts, I saw a full body apparition, which is the holy grail of paranormal activity and evidence. But as
Yeah,
always, I don't know why I said but like that, but it
I,
wasn't on
I
camera.
I remember that very well when it happened
I
because
remember it vividly.
I was still in the other mess hall. I did not follow Tracy and Kevin to go see what Kathy was doing. So I'm still with the other investigators. And I forgot what fell. I don't know if it was a walkie,
It was my
something.
walkie fell off my pocket.
And I heard that and I could hear I mean it's a big tin can. You can hear people moving, which is another reason that it
Yeah,
probably
it
wasn't.
made
You couldn't hear,
no sound.
but I could hear Kevin and I could hear him take off. And the something hit the floor and I'm like, what in the hell's going on? What am I missing? So I remember going back over there, and they had already gone to the end. We all went down to the end again, and we you know, nothing was there. And that's when I had another experience, and this is one that uh, I remember quite vividly. Um, Me and another investigator were in. There's a barbershop area, it's a mail room. There's a bunch of stuff in that general area. I think aft steering is below it. Um, so because Kevin, you had asked us to, me and the investigator stay down there, so we decided to stay down in that area. And after a while, we were hearing some crazy noises that seemed to be messing with us. And then all of a sudden, we're the glorified ladders that you walk up. Um, bless the Navy having to
Oh
deal with
man.
that. I couldn't imagine. Um, but it felt like something. I heard you could hear it like go up the stairs, and I almost feel the energy hit me in the back almost as I'm on the last step. And I remember jumping about 2 feet forward and running into the investigator in front of me. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Something just bum rushed up the stairs. I don't know." And it was crazy. And I remember us all congregating back um, at the end and kind of trying to figure out what had happened. This crazy activity that we all had in such a short amount of time that and there was more to come. I mean, the coolest experience for me that night was right near the end of the night. I think it was like 5:30 in the morning. We had gotten out of a very well known area in the ship, the torpedo room, um, which we didn't have any experiences in that
Yeah.
area. Um, Actually felt pretty, except being very hot and having to climb over doors that were 2 feet off the ground. Um,
Yeah.
but still a great experience nonetheless, to be in there. But nothing really happened. So we I had gone to the engine room with a few other investigators, Tracy and Molly, and not they hadn't seen anything to this point. They hadn't had any visual. And I'd had auditory. Me and you also heard that thing in between us say go.
Yeah. We'll get
Um,
into that one though.
yeah, we'll talk about that one. But so I had an auditory things happen, uh, and the likes. I hadn't had anything visual, yet necessarily. And we're sitting in the engine room. The other side only has that one of those exit lights that's lit up. You can't see anything else. And I see a head and shoulders peek around the corner at me, and I was like thinking I'm seeing things, But I mentioned it. I said I think I just saw something. So I know first Molly looks over there, and when and I love it because you can hear the almost like the stunned reaction that
Genuine.
I had, like the oh, like I remember
Yeah.
like that, and Molly at the same time is like, you saw that? I'm like, yeah, and it almost stepped out, and it was head, shoulders. I mean, it was, and you could tell it was a man, like it was clear as day. Tracy was looking off a different direction, and it kind of went. It seemed to have gone back and somewhere else. It disappeared. So now, at this point, now we're all watching, and for a third time, this thing peeks around, head and shoulders. It's clear, and finally, we all three at the same time are seeing it. And I mean, when it comes to personal experience, it doesn't get much better than that, where you all are seeing the same exact thing. There's no light coming from your side. The shadow has to be being made by, I mean, it's a free floating shadow. It's not
Hmm.
backed up against something. And at the same time, we also heard valves getting turned. You heard the squeaking of valves. We heard there's grated floors in the engine room below us. We heard what sounded like a pipe hit the floor. I mean, it was just crazy. Um, that experience and I think I mentioned it at the Deltona Library. That's my favorite experience so far in my career, and as you might say, in the paranormal. Just I I don't know how to explain that. We all saw a shadowy figure of a man that shouldn't have been there, and I can't debunk that. I cannot think of any reason why it would have been there. So
Yeah. Yeah. What an experience though. I mean, where was I at that time? I
You
think
were
Jonathan and I were outside in the guns at the
you
time.
you had gone back to get we had left something in the torpedo room.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. Jonathan and I went to the torpedo room to pick that up. Because before that, before you guys even went to the engine room, Jonathan and I were in the guns taking pictures.
Right. That's right. That's when you got those pictures.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
But
Yeah.
the voice, you brought it up a couple minutes
Yeah.
ago. You and I were that was early in the night. I think
That was first
that was
walk
the
around.
first, yeah, that was the first thing that I think anyone had like the
That was,
first of experiences in the
I
night
believe,
was, yeah, you and I were by was it the laundry room or like the mail
yeah,
room?
same place I got bum rushed up the stairs.
Hmm.
Same exact place. Yep.
Yeah, was that was laundry, right? Or mail?
Laundry, barber, man. I mean, they had every no
Or they're
mail
all
was
together.
separate, but they were all in that general area. But yeah, the laundry and barber shop.
Yeah, because you and I were hearing knocking,
Yeah.
and it seemed to be on command, like, or not
Hmm.
on command, but answering questions, like responding. It was it's 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
so uh, it seemed to be like that's an excuse. We could be 3 in the afternoon and we
We would
jumble
still
words.
be not doing English
At
well.
least now I have an excuse. But no, we heard knocking and it was in response to questions we were asking. Uh, if that was you, can you knock again? Boom. Can you knock 2 times? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Um, but you and I believe we had a recorder going.
Yeah, it was something either we had turned it on just then and we didn't catch it. I think it was just we didn't catch the voice or the recorder stopped right when the
Yeah,
because
I
the
don't
sad
remember,
thing, you hear all of these personal experiences, right?
but
We
we
had
got
tons,
nothing,
no evidence. And
nothing on any of our. We had so much equipment on the
we
battleship.
we had more. I think Dennis said he had not seen that. Even the people that were coming with 40 people hadn't seen that much
Yeah,
equipment. So we
yeah,
were
like
fully stocked.
yeah, Dennis was like the night watchman for like events, like celebrity events, like your favorite paranormal TV show, celebrities. And he said that we have more equipment than they bring.
We were
So,
stocked to the brim. Actually, there's pictures. If you want
yeah,
to see them, there's pictures on the Kappa Facebook page of
yeah.
just how much
I'll
equipment
sprinkle pictures throughout this. So,
that'd be.
but
Um,
yeah, I'll definitely throw a picture of the equipment sometime around here while we're talking about it. But
but
we were decked out. But we had nothing on camera, nothing on audio. So maybe when we go back, it'll be the opposite. We might
that's
get
you're right. We
aura on equipment and have and see nothing visual in the moment,
but
which I don't know. Like, do I want that? I like being able to see things.
uh, right. And now that comes down to something that I feel like I go against what I always say with this investigation and this location. Usually, I need evidence and proof that I can show a skeptic to
Yeah,
say that I believe a place has paranormal activity. This is an exception.
yeah.
I don't I saw and heard things that I cannot debunk. I even though I don't have that hardcore evidence that I'd like, and I don't know if you agree with me. I mean, but I do believe the Battleship North Carolina to be haunted.
Oh, definitely,
You know,
definitely.
we had enough. I mean, you saw what we believe to be a full-bodied apparition.
Yes.
You don't get much better than that. Everyone saw shadows. We heard voices. We
Yeah,
footsteps.
somebody, yeah, I didn't get to finish. Like when we were at the by that the mail room or whatever, you and I were getting those knocks, and you and I were a foot or less apart.
Yeah,
You
right.
were on my left side, and it sounded like someone just kind of got between our heads, like between our ears, and like audibly said, like we heard it because we looked at each other and was like, what was that?
Yeah, it was clear. It was clear,
Yeah,
and a very precise commanding go.
go.
It
Yeah,
was, not playing around. It was a command. It wasn't a question. It
yes.
wasn't asking it. It was a command. And
Yeah, it's like you're not supposed to be here. Go. Like
um,
not threatening, but kind of just stern. Go.
right. Yeah, I don't think anything there's threatening.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing seemed malicious.
and this is also an investigation where, uh, and I hope no paranormal investigator goes there and does any sort of provoking.
Yes.
This is a
That's not
place
the
that you
time or
you have
place.
got to be respectful. Provoking has its place. It does. Um, there's a lot of jails we've been to, or even some residential cases where provoking, to an extent, is used and is a good tool. But if these are people who served most likely in our country, if they don't want to show up and they don't want to show us that they're there, they don't have to.
That's on them. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to make them or piss them off. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve to be disrespected.
Right.
And I believe that in many circumstances, provoking is not a necessary thing, especially in not in any military establishment, unless you're there, the military calls you in and they think they're dealing with something negative. I mean, if it's a different, there may be certain circumstances where you will, but not
Yeah,
usually.
not in North Carolina.
No,
Um,
definitely not there. Absolutely. Now I guess we can wrap up our case file with what are we hoping for going back? Why are we going back? I can tell you why I'm going back.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's pretty simple.
the place is
I'm going
damn
back because it's
cool. I mean,
amazing.
yeah, it's a freaking battleship from World War II. What's not to like? And
Yeah,
it has ghosts.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
I'm going back to spend 14 hours on a haunted battleship with my buddies, you know?
right. Like there's what you can't go wrong. Like,
Yeah.
and not only that, and we make a weekend out of it too. We're going to be in Wilmington.
Yeah.
If you've never been, it's beautiful up there. It's really nice. So, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. And yeah, I'm hoping I hope that you know uh his name's Leonard. I think we remember that. I can't remember his full name, but his name's Leonard, one of the people that passed in the
Hmm.
torpedo. Um,
Which is who I believe that I saw because after the battleship investigation, we went back to the Airbnb and we were just talking about our experiences. And Molly, our case manager, was just going through the pictures of the soldiers who had passed on the ship. And she was like, trying to see who I may have saw. And she was just going through pictures and showing me. It had no names attached to the pictures. It was just the pictures of the people. And I'm like, no, no. And then maybe the third or fourth one, immediately like goosebumps. I said, that is the guy. Without a doubt, that's who I saw. And she looked at the name and it was Leonard. I feel horrible. I can't remember the name, but it was the guy whose name was Leonard. And I thought it was so weird because, my last name, but it was just weird.
yeah, I remember your reaction to seeing that, and I remember the goosebumps.
Yeah.
You seemed a bit not shocked, but like, whoa, that
Yeah.
feeling.
Because it's
Leonard
like
Pa- Leonard
validation,
Pam, Pa, Pa, Leonard Pamone. I think that was his name. Pahone or Pamone.
possibly.
It was because I'm saying I said it a few times in the video. That's on the Kappa Facebook page. I think it was Leonard Pamone or um but yeah, he had died in a torpedo incident. He supposedly people do see his apparition. So that claim would make sense. Really, when I go back, the only thing I look forward to hanging out on a battleship,
Yeah.
and I hope that I get graced with the presence of the spirits of those who served on that ship, and hopefully I'm lucky enough. If I'm not, I still got to spend the whole night on a battleship again, and it's worth every second of my time and every penny of the trip. Um, it just it doesn't get better than that, and you know, and if we find some good evidence, it's just a cherry on top, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I can't wait to get back. I'd love to bring home some evidence. But I just can't wait to get back and hopefully again, I hope to experience what I experienced before. Am I expecting it? No, but it was an experience I'll never forget,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to relive it. Um, or maybe something different will happen that is somehow more impressive than a full body apparition. Um, you never know. Um, but yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Corey Beam, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
No, but you can reach out to us if you would like. You can find me facebook.com/Corey Beam. You can also reach us. I do think
Facebook to what?
what? Did I say something
It's,
weird? I
it
probably
sounds like you said Facebook to come. Hey.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. Oh, I may have. I don't know. It is 2:18 in the morning. Um no, facebook.com slash forward slash what Corey Beam, my name. You can also find us at facebook.com/slash into the paranormal. I am uh planning on merging into the paranormal and the Kappa page, so you can find all your into the paranormal stuff soon, probably just on the Kappa page. It'll be easier, I think, to do it that way.
Possibly.
We'll figure that out. But for now, facebook.com/slash into the paranormal. And you can reach us. We're still looking for stories. So if you, or any questions, concerns, comments, you want to come on the podcast, talk to us, whatever it may be, you can reach us on into the paranormal pod at gmail.com.
Yeah, and you can find me all things social at Kappa Paranormal. Pretty easy. Follow me on Facebook or whatever. Kevin Leonard, my name, and that's it. I am everywhere that you want to be, like Visa. Kappa Paranormal. That was dumb.
You're a
But
Visa, Kevin the Visa card.
yeah,
He's everywhere.
no, but yeah. Follow me everywhere, Kappa Paranormal. Um, and go to the website, kappaparanormal.com. Everything is Kappa Paranormal. And as always, I have been Kevin Leonard. That has been Corey Bean, and this has been Into the Paranormal.